And the truth is, Trump liked the NSA spying before. Now he doesn't like it because he realizes it's being used against him. And it's being used against Americans. And tens of thousands of Americans we now know were illegally targeted by Obama. William Binney at his father's grave.
This is my father's grave. One time I asked him, I said, in your service in wartime, how many men did you kill? And he said, maybe one. So, but that's all he said. He didn't really talk about it. I think that was pretty typical of World War II veterans. They did what they had to do, and they didn't really think that that was anything different than anyone else did in World War II. Nobody thought they were heroes. They just thought they did their duty. One of the worst things about war is those who force others to be as vicious as they are to stop it. That's what I'm sure he was feeling. He just didn't want to talk about having to do what he had to do when in the war. One of the main reasons we get into war is by mistakes by leadership, because they're informed incorrectly or they're uninformed about events, totally. So the principle I thought that I was working under was to make sure that the information that I could arrive at through the work I did was informative to leadership so they didn't make mistakes.
Powerful film. I'm going to show this film to my children this weekend. We just got it in. It's amazing. A Good American. Stunning and deeply disturbing, Newsweek called it. The extraordinary story of an extraordinary spy, William Binney, one of the top mathematicians in modern history, one of the men who engineered much of what the NSA is today, but not to spy on the American people, but to protect the nation. Someone who tried to stop the illegal spying and was SWAT teamed for it. He's now been, of course, vindicated. And we have the filmmaker with us as well. He, of course, was the main technical advisor on Snowden, the big blockbuster film that was so powerful that Oliver Stone put out. And see, to me, Oliver Stone is a real liberal. He's against ISIS. He's against war with Russia. He's against bankrupting the country. And I take somebody like William Binney. I wouldn't call him liberal or conservative. He's just an American patriot. And the truth is, Trump liked the NSA spying before. Now he doesn't like it because he realizes it's being used against him. And it's being used against Americans. And tens of thousands of Americans we now know were illegally targeted by Obama. And Trump was spied on. Then they tried to lie about that. So this is bipartisan. This affects no matter what color you are, where you came from. This is the giant spy grid. And it's such a powerful film. A Good American. This is something that brings us all together under our First Amendment, under our Fourth Amendment. And just understanding the big corporations that have these spy grids that are hooked into the NSA, they're like the new gods. And they've done it by violating all of our rights. And they're taking over our world and ending competition. This is the big threat, and this is the film. I think informationally it's even better than Snowden, which was excellent. I couldn't believe that Hollywood would let something that good come out. That's one of the only good things I've seen that actually told the truth politically from Hollywood in years, from the left or the right. And so the film is A Good American. I don't mean to gush too much about this, but we've got several other clips. My Father's Grave, everything is human behavior, The Graph, The Maze, with William Binney, the former technical director of the National Security Agency, and, of course, the filmmaker we're going to have on with us for the next 45 minutes or so as well. This is quite a time to be alive. Friedrich Moser, blueandgreen.info is his film site, and he's an amazing filmmaker in his own right. I was already aware of his work before I knew that about a year ago or so that he was working, or a year and a half ago. Time flies, when William Binney came to town and had just been interviewed for this film, but now it's out. Friedrich Moser will be joining us, but I wanted to go to, they're both here with us right now, just to talk to William Binney. Do you not feel vindicated that you're SWAT teamed, more than a decade ago for talking to Congress secretly, following your oath to expose illegal spying, everything you talked about and warned about, vindicated by Snowden, vindicated by WikiLeaks, but now just out in the open in spades. But then we learned the president himself and Congress has fallen prey to this deep state. So everything you talked about, word for word now, emblazoned. What's it like, William Binney?
Well, Alex, I just think it's rather sad that it's taken this long to come out, but it's also very disturbing that we don't have a lot of people standing up to oppose this. You know, most of them are acquiescing to it, especially those in Congress. They should be outraged because they're being spied on too.
Incredible. You're the expert here, and I want to go to the director as well and talk about this amazing film that's so important. But just looking at the world today and stuff I mentioned, what's your expert take on that? William?
Mine? Oh, I thought you were asking Fritz. Well, I think Fritz did an excellent job on the whole movie, and I think it's brought out the points that are necessary for people to understand. I just hope that more people can see it, so that they'll begin to understand the technology behind it and understand what's possible and what the threat really is here. I always go back and refer to a former East German lieutenant colonel who in the Stasi, who had said of the NSA spying program, this would have been a dream come true for us. So that really should tell you what this is all about. It's about spying on everybody, in control of everybody, and making sure that people line up to do what central government wants them to do. And this is contrary to what our entire Constitution was set in place to ensure does not happen.
And a lot of people say, well, nothing to hide. Well, that's like posting that you're out of town and where you live on Facebook, and then thieves rob your house. We have blinds, not because we're hiding something, but because we have privacy. And isn't privacy historically the essence of what free peoples have? So I want to get into the film, but this film, years in the making, is now the life we're living. It's now vindicated, as you are, by everything it breaks down in real time. It's beyond evergreen is what I'm saying. And the revelation that certain elites have omnipresent access to information and us mere mortals are here. I mean, this is the ultimate discrimination as well. They don't just steal our data. They then collate it and use it against us and market it and predict the future. I mean, this is Promethean fire, but we pay for the fire, but we don't even get the benefits of it.
That's right. And for what's going on today, right now, with Comey and Mueller, I mean, these are two guys who were at the center of this spying. They were using this data with the FBI and the Department of Justice all along, and they were the ones who were advocates for it internally in the government. So, that's like criminals going after other criminals.
Exactly. I'm going to go to the director here for a moment, and then we're going to come back to you after break. But that's exactly where I wanted to go. I'm watching Comey and I'm watching Mueller, who openly were involved in all this illegal spying. I'm watching Hayden running it all like he's a good guy, and that Trump's bad. And I'm not even here defending Trump. The point is, it's just bizarre to realize what these guys are involved in. People have to see the film for themselves. But Friedrich Moser, filmmaker, blueandgreen.info. We're selling the film at InfoWars store, InfoWarsStore.com. But whatever you do, folks, you need to get this out to libraries. You need to show it to students. You need to. This is powerful. So, Frederick, congratulations on what you've done here. It's amazing. But how did you get into this, and just how has this changed your life delving into this?
Well, there is a long version of that and a short version of that. The short version is WikiLeaks actually got me to become interested in what is going on in the digital realm. And I had a story in preparation that was already dealing with surveillance. But then Snowden came along and showed us that the magnitude of surveillance was just huge and way bigger than what we had come across. And so it was also clear that Laura Poitras and Glenn Greenwald would get the Snowden story out and also show the panorama of surveillance as it was going on. But my academic background is I have a degree in contemporary history. And so I was interested, how the hell did we get there? And so I was looking for a story of a person, a personal story which could be emotional and powerful enough to attract the interest of people who are not genuinely interested in surveillance as such, but just in the biography of somebody who has worked as a spy. And on top of my list, there was Bill Binney. And I asked him, this was in 2013, actually. So this was like 2 months after Snowden.
Oh, yeah. You put a lot of work into this film. This is amazing.
And so I asked Bill, and he said, yes, I'm on board. And this is how I started. And has it changed my life? Yes, totally.
Yeah, I've been around a lot of Hollywood folks, and that doesn't excite me very much unless they have courage like the last guest we had on. But when you're around Binney, you realize, like, in mainline publications, this is one of the top mathematicians, super brains, helped defeat the Soviet Union, has all these secret awards, and here's the government SWAT teaming him, probably doing other stuff to him he didn't want to get into. And it's amazing to be out at dinner with this guy and then realize, I'm not really paranoid. There are people following us. I mean, it's very interesting.
And not only in America. I mean, of course, the story of Bill is a very American story. But in the end, we are really having the same trouble in Europe over here. So
you're right. Stay there. The filmmaker, Friedrich Moser, the amazing film, A Good American, available at InfoWarsStore.com. If you don't support films like this, you may already know all this stuff, folks. You got to support it. And I'm not lecturing you. You already know this. This is important. Very powerful. He's our guest. Trump, of course, USA Today even had to admit, U.S. News and World Report as well, top spy, top NSA official backs up Trump's story of spying. We'll talk about that straight ahead from the top NSA insider, William Binney. I'm Alex Jones. This is the InfoWar. Let's go to Debit in Florida. Debit in Florida, you're on the air.
Great. Hey, thank you so much. Listen, I have bought your product, and I gotta say they're amazing. Anyone who's on the fence, buy it, because I've got Caveman, Superman Vitality, Secret 12, Vitamin Mineral Fusion. I've got the body armor.
Wow, thank you.
Wow.
You're the type of listener that makes it all possible. Which nutraceutical does you like best?
I really like the Vitamin Mineral Fusion, to be honest. That's
amazing.
Really incredible. I drank it in the morning, and I swear to you, I felt incredible. Like I haven't felt in weeks. My morning was fantastic, and I love you guys. I love the InfoWars crew, and I just want to, I want to take this opportunity to tell anybody out there who's on the fence, just buy it. You will love it. I'm telling you, I've never bought a bad product.
What you find in our news is the same thing you find in our products at InfoWarsLife.com. It's a win-win. InfoWarsLife.com.